All right, it's 5 o'clock, and I'm Jack Walsh, Committee Chair, calling the Committee of Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety, calling it to order. We have our two other committee members, Susan Honda and Lydia Safadas. Also here we have Council Member Jack Dovey. And is there any other council members online?
No, there's not.
No, okay, all right. Do we have any public comment?
No, we do not.
All right, oh, and also Council Member Paul McDaniel is here with us as well. Okay, on to committee business. First, item A, approval of summary minutes for the May 13th, 2025 council meeting.
I move approval of the minutes. Go ahead.
Gail, second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it passes unanimously. All right, item B, South King Housing and Homeless Partnership 2026 Work Plan and Budget, and I believe we have Ms. Layla Wilson here with us.
Good evening, council members. I have to do my real quick just to introduce you. That's okay, sorry. Alrighty, so this evening we will be having Claire Vanessa Goodwin present to you all about the SKIP 2026 work plan. I will give a brief introduction. The mission for SKIP is South King County jurisdictions working together and sharing resources to create a coordinated, comprehensive, and equitable approach to increasing housing stability, reducing homelessness, and producing and preserving quality, affordable housing in South King County. Their goals that she will be speaking on this evening will be to fund the expansion and preservation of affordable housing, develop policies that expand and preserve affordable housing, serve as an advocate for South King County, and manage operations and administration. She'll also be going over the revenue with the South King County cities, as well as budget expenses that her team oversees. And I will give it over to Claire here with her presentation. There you go.
Thanks, Layla, and good evening, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Claire Goodwin. I am the Executive Manager for the South King Housing and Homelessness Partners, or SKIP for short, and I am excited to present to you the SKIP recommended 2026 work plan and budget. So this presentation is a formality. It's an annual process, and it's required by our interlocal agreement. So thank you for having me here this evening. All right, so for those of you that might be new to our work or listening at home, SKIP is your sub-regional affordable housing consortium formed in 2019 and made up of 11 South King County cities, your city included, plus King County. SKIP's member jurisdictions are listed on your slide. We are a unified, coordinated, and collaborative coalition funding the construction and preservation of affordable housing right here in South King County, in addition to supporting the subregion's work and cross-jurisdictional collaboration towards addressing our shared affordable housing challenges. This is a meaningful opportunity to work together with neighboring cities to make an impact on the subregion's affordable housing shortage. And to date, we have pulled over $14.5 million to house our low-income neighbors and rehabilitate deteriorating multifamily buildings. And Layla mentioned our mission statement. It's also listed on your slide there. So the SCIP interlocal agreement requires that the legislative bodies of the member jurisdictions that comprise SCIP take action and adopt the SCIP Executive Board approved work plan and budget for the next year before it becomes effective. So the work plan and budget reflects the goals and priorities of the SCIP Executive Board and incorporates the review and feedback of the SCIP staff work group. The Executive Board is comprised of electeds and administrators from each of SCIP's member jurisdictions. The staff work group is made up of staff from each member jurisdiction. In January, a survey was administered to the Executive Board, and a draft was developed based on the survey results and reviewed by the staff work group. Executive Board feedback was incorporated, and a finalized draft was developed and reviewed by the staff work group. On May 16th, the SCIP Executive Board adopted the 2026 work plan and budget, which is the version included in your packet. And as you can see on this slide, we are at the last step in our process, council adoption from all 12 SCIP member jurisdictions. So the 4 goals for the SCIP work plan remain the same in 2026 as in 2025. Fund the expansion and preservation of affordable housing, develop policies to expand and preserve affordable housing, serve as an advocate for South King County, and manage operations and administration, excuse me. So each goal in the work plan has corresponding actions that support the goal. Most goals are continuing the work from previous years. Each goal has corresponding indicators that will assist in measuring progress towards the goal. Those indicators are reported out in our annual report. The full work plan with action items and indicators can be found in your agenda packet. So the 2026 SCIP operating budget totals $501,975. 64% of SCIP's expenses go towards the salary and benefits of our 2 staff. Regarding revenues, SCIP's operating budget is funded solely from SCIP member contributions and are based on population tiers, which we'll go over on the next slide. No member jurisdiction is moving into a new population tier this year. The Executive Board adopted a policy in July 2021 to increase member contributions by 15% each year through 2026 to work towards a balanced budget. Regarding expenses, salaries and benefits are proposed to increase by 0.3%. This is to align with actual expenditures in this category as we over budgeted in previous years. Interfund IT, which is the amount paid to our administering agency, the City of Auburn, for IT services, is proposed to increase by 14%. Professional services is proposed to increase by 46%, or $26,000, due to an every other year data update to the SCIP Affordable Housing Inventory Dashboard at $18,000, and anticipated higher rates for contracted services. Professional services include advisory board compensation, contract attorney expenses, the data update I mentioned, third-party construction reports, professional development, travel, housing development consortium member dues, and an annual license fee. The proposal includes aligning budgeted categories with SCIP's administering agency. SCIP continues to spend down the fund balance from previous year's cost savings to mitigate any additional increases to member contributions. Lastly, on the budget, the Executive Board is recommending the operating budget also include a portion of interest earned in 2024, primarily from Housing Capital Fund contributions, towards an unrestricted fund balance in reserve. Interest earned in 2024 to be applied to the reserve in 2026 for the City of Federal Way would be $22,682. For SCIP to spend the interest earnings requires the approval of each SCIP member with allocated interest earned based on their contributions. With the adoption of the 2026 SCIP operating budget, which incorporates a portion of the interest earnings into an unrestricted fund balance in reserve at the very bottom of the budget, the City Council is providing authorization for SCIP to use those funds for future budgeting purposes as recommended by the SCIP Executive Board. These funds will assist in future years should there be an economic recession and members choose to pause an increase in dues or other unexpected expense arises. The remaining interest earnings will go towards the 2025 funding round of the Housing Capital Fund, and council will provide approval to use those funds during the annual concurrence process in early 2026. So this slide shows the SCIP population tiers established in the interlocal agreement and the member contributions by year that incorporates the 15% increase each year. The city's member contributions would be $68,386 for 2026. This table shows the state's Office of Financial Management, or OFM, annual population data in 2021 through 2024 by each member jurisdiction. For the 2026 budget, the 2024 population data is used to establish which tier the city falls into. The 2025 population estimate is not published until June 30th of this year. So as you can see, South King County is steadily growing across most jurisdictions, including Federal Way. So in conclusion, per our interlocal agreement requirements, we're seeking your concurrence to adopt the 2026 SCIP work plan and budget. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Councilmember Sefadossin.
Yeah, with the interest earned by jurisdiction, why is King County not getting interest?
Yeah, so they do not contribute to the Housing Capital Fund. So we're not accruing or earning interest on any of their contributions.
Okay, and Skip, the executive board, what's the composition of that? Where do they all come from?
Yeah, so the board is made up of elected officials or administrators from each of the member jurisdictions. So your representative is Brian, the city administrator. But we have strong mayors. The chair is Mayor Nancy Backus from the city of Auburn, and the vice chair is Mayor Dana Ralph from the city of Kent.
Okay, so what does it mean when it says they get funding? What is it? I forgot the word. They're in the budget, though. Compensation?
Oh, advisory board compensation?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a different board.
It's a good question. So we have a community advisory board that makes the initial funding recommendation on the use of the housing capital funds. So they review in detail the proposals that we get every year, and then they make a recommendation to the executive board on which projects to fund based on adopted guidelines and priorities of the executive board. And we have a stipend policy in place that allows for folks that don't receive compensation from their employer to receive, I think it's $50 for every meeting they attend with us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Councilmember McDaniel.
Yeah, she had a good couple questions there, so I don't have to bother with those. I have a couple questions about the financing. So if I understand this correct, you guys accrued $540,000 in interest?
Let me just look at my number. I want to say that's correct. Yes, 540,000. I want to make sure. $377
Okay,
in 2024.
gotcha. And then when I look at you guys' actual operating budget, it has a starting fund of $337,000. Then it goes through the revenues from the city and expenses. How much money is sitting in a fund that you guys were able to create $540,000 in interest?
Yeah.
What is that fund and where is it?
Sure. So it's a fiduciary account. It's sitting with the city of Auburn, and it currently has, I want to say, about $11 million in it, and that is from the pooled resources from all the cities over the last 4 years for the Housing Capital Fund. So we don't release the funds until the projects begin and are in the construction phase and are making expenses and can provide us the invoices that those funds have been spent, and then we release it. And we have only just now begun that, and we're in our 4th year funding. So that's why, and you won't see that level of interest earnings
Again.
in future years, unfortunately, but so we do see this as a really unique opportunity to put that aside should there be, an economic downturn.
Okay. And so the second part is, so the cities actually on a yearly basis pay into the program, and then currently you're asking for release of the interest that's been accrued via each one of the cities. Is that what I'm understanding correctly?
It's that, and it's your member dues, your annual member dues as well.
Okay. And the annual member's dues is based on the size of the city, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Those are my main questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. Excuse me. So the 2 projects that Skip has done, the one in Burien, or are there 2 in Burien?
So, we've supported 7 projects at this point, but we do have 2 projects in Burien right now.
So the 11 million is not money that needs to be used for those projects?
So the 11 million are the funds for all of the projects. It's all been earmarked, so it's
Okay.
all been spoken for, yep. It's just sitting with us, earning interest.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you.
So what Federal Way projects are there?
So
None.
we have yet to receive an application for Federal Way, but a little bird tells me that you have a very exciting opportunity coming up with the Sound Transit properties here, and they'll be releasing their RFP for those sites. And I've been attending those open houses to let potential applicants know that, the SCIP fund is here, should there be alignment with our eligibility for our funding source. So would love to see an application from Federal Way, and would encourage you all, to also help us get the word out that these funds are here. But we're hopeful to see an application this year, hopefully next year.
Okay, Councilmember Dovey.
Yeah, SCIP funds, you're talking about the TOD down by the transit center, but if there was a plot of land that was a couple acres and somebody wanted to put in teeny homes, I'm just making this as we go, for senior women over 65 or senior men, would those type of things qualify for the SCIP program?
So in that case, I would encourage that developer to consider a homeownership project, maybe townhomes. If they are able to commit to 50 years of restricted, incomes, not, in a homeownership
Sure.
case, we would want it restricted up to 60% AMI. And we are funding projects like that. One is in Burien, and we had an application from the city of, over in Renton, for a home ownership project. So yes, absolutely.
And so what I heard you say is those type of projects could qualify if they're home ownership.
They can be rental as well.
right, but-
In that case, I was hearing tiny homes and was thinking.
Okay, well,
single-
tiny home could be a rental, could be a ownership, but those type of things,
Yep,
Or-
so for
okay.
us, the restrictions are on the area median income.
Mm-hmm.
So we fund 60%, up to 60% AMI for rental, up to 80% AMI for home ownership.
okay,
But our larger funding source has a little more strict requirements and requires up to 60% AMI and to serve a particular population. Seniors
Sure.
is one of them. so that
seniors, yeah.
qualifies.
Like, I should have used the word senior instead of, well, anyway, got it, thank you.
No. With that 60% AMI, is it the county AMI or is it the South King County AMI.
Yeah, so we use what HUD publishes, and it's the King County Metro number.
So a pretty generous amount then.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. If there's no other questions, thank you very, very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And thank you for your work. Do we have a motion?
I move to forward the proposed SKIP 2026 work plan and budget to the June 17th, 2025 consent agenda for approval.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. It passes unanimously. Right, thank you very much. And back to Ms. Wilson for item C, I guess it's not number, letter C, Human Services General Funds Contingency Funds.
Good evening once again. I am back. So this evening, we're going to speak about the remaining balance of the Human Services Contingency Funds and attempts to our request to allocate that to the Babies of Homelessness Agency. Policy question would be, should the council approve the $900 of contingency funds from the 2025 Human Service Grant Funds to fund Babies of Homelessness? Some background to that is the Human Services Commission recommended 34 agencies for 2025-2026 application cycle. And the prior action, the council allocated a portion of the contingency fund to the Federal Way Senior Center, which left us with a remaining balance of $900. And our Human Services Commission is recommending the remaining funds be allocated to Babies of Homelessness. The Babies of Homelessness Diaper Bank Program, they submitted a complete and eligible application requesting $15,000. For that $15,000, it would provide a diaper bank to residents across South King County, in addition to the residents of Federal Way. And with that, they provide direct service, which allows families to drive up, or they will drive to those families in need wherever they are located at. They also have the option of a partner distribution where agencies across King County and Snohomish counties can have diapers delivered directly, where they will disperse those diapers to clients in need that are being served. And there's also a mobile pickup option where families can place an advance order to pick up a bulk order, and that is once a month. So our question would be, our recommendation would be to approve the proposed recommendation to fund Babies of Homelessness, or do not approve the proposed recommendation and provide direction to staff.
Thank you. Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. Did I hear you correctly when you said this would provide diapers for families across South King County?
That's what the agency does specifically, but yes, that $900 would be allocated to the residents of Federal Way.
So it would just be used for those who live in Federal Way?
Yes, that $900.
Okay, $900 is a lot of money in some instances, but for diapers, it's not that much money.
And yeah, we actually reached out to them and they were very grateful for the opportunity, even with it being a lesser amount than requested. However, any little bit helps.
Correct.
Our human services saw that this was a need, especially how our community does our March of Dimes, I think in the earlier part of the year. They wanted to continue that effort and provide this last remaining funds to this agency.
So where is this organization located out of?
I believe they're in Bellevue. Sorry, you have to forgive me on that one, but I believe they're in Bellevue, and they serve right now approximately 25 agencies across King County and Snohomish counties.
Are they a registered diaper bank with a national organization?
That I'm unaware of.
And have we funded them before?
No,
Have they applied before?
not to my knowledge right now.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Sefadasan.
Yeah. Were there other applicants for this round of funding?
I'm sorry,
or
what was that?
Were there other applicants? Or how did they get to apply for this funding?
They submitted their original application with the 112 applications that we received. Out of the 84 that were evaluated, they were one of them. Based on the scoring, they were not fully recommended within the 34 that we presented back in October. And since we had a last remaining funds of $900, we took it to our Human Services Commissioners, and they voted unanimously to provide those remaining funds.
So they got bumped up from previous applications, right? So they
Are
were
they-
part of,
They were part of the
Yeah.
application
Yeah.
cycle.
but they just got bumped up. Maybe they were like the last one.
They were next in line, right?
Yes, they would
Yeah,
have been.
okay,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
okay. All right.
I have another question. I just looked up the website. It says that they provide formula too, so would this just be restricted to diapers, or would it allow for formula if the family needed that?
This one would be for their diaper bank program that they
Okay.
submitted the application for.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move to forward the proposed recommendations to fund babies of homelessness with the remaining 2024 Human Services grants contingency funds to the consent agenda for approval. I imagine we should say the consent agenda of June 17th, 2025.
All right.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Hopefully, maybe next year there'll be the diaper bank here in Federal Way may be applying. I don't know, so. So, all right, on to item D, Senior Advisory Commission Semi-Annual Update, and our very own Amy Glandon.
Hello. Hello, committee members and council members. My name is Amy Glandon. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Senior Advisory Commission, bringing the semi-annual commission update. Since January, the commission has held 5 regular meetings, 1 special meeting, hosted 1 Commission Connection event at the community center, revised and printed the new Senior Resource Guide, and hosted the 3rd Annual Senior Health and Resource Fair. The Commission Connection event took place in March with a special guest from the Defensive Driving School teaching about senior driving programs and awareness. This luncheon was well attended with over 50 members of the public. The Commission Connection events continue to be an opportunity for seniors in Federal Way to come together for a free lunch, to have conversations and to learn something. And the Commission would like to thank David Schmidt and the Community Center for making it possible for us to host these events there. January kicked off the senior reading program, and an idea that was brought forth to the Commission by Commissioner Dave Reynolds. The vision was to get senior volunteers to read to students at various Federal Way high school or schools, giving a chance for seniors to get out of the house and to invest in the next generation. The program currently has over 20 readers at various elementary and middle schools, with many of these volunteer readers doing more than just reading at those schools, but becoming classroom volunteers as well. Although they're going to be taking a break during the summer, there is a hope that the program would continue to grow for the 25-26 school year. The Commission would like to thank Dr. Spencer and the Federal Way Public Schools for their partnership to provide this program to Federal Way. The Commission also established an active partnership with the Federal Way Mirror for coverage of the many senior-focused events around Federal Way. The Mirror celebrated members of the Senior Advisory Commission with articles on each commissioner that have been coming out regularly. The Commission would like to thank the Federal Way Mirror for their support and their coverage, ensuring that seniors are seen and celebrated. Beginning in February, members of the Commission began the large task of revising and editing the 2025 Senior Resource Guide. The new brochure was unveiled at the Senior Health and Resource Fair and is always a big hit in the community. This guide shares the contact information of resources and nonprofits in the Federal Way community area, specifically those that target and serve Federal Way seniors. The Commission thanks Steel Lake Presbyterian Church for once again sponsoring the printing of these brochures, as well as Minuteman Press, Federal Way, for doing the print work. The 3rd Annual Health and Resource Fair took place at the Performing Arts and Events Center on Thursday, May 15th. This was the largest event that the Commission has hosted, with 76 vendors and over 280 attendees. This event was fully funded through sponsorships, vendor fees, and donations, and also includes a carryover budget for next year's event. This year, the Senior Health and Resource Fair had 5 sponsors: Vicki Chenoweth, St. Francis Hospital, the Multi-Service Center, Steel Lake Presbyterian Church, and the Federal Way Mirror. This event would not be possible without the tireless work that the commission put in. The commission would like to thank Stacia and her team at the PAC for their help in providing a space, as well as a big thank you to the mayor and to the council for coming out and interacting with our vendors and our public. As we look into the latter half of 2025, the commission will have 3 more Commission Connection events. The next one is next week on Wednesday, June 18th from 11:30 to 1 at the Community Center with a special guest from Center Stage Theater. We'll be hearing about Center Stage, how seniors can get involved, as well as raffling off 2 tickets for an upcoming show. The Senior Commission thanks you for supporting them in all of their endeavors, and they dream big, and they do a lot of work. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions about this.
Councilmember Honda.
Well, I can't let you just stand there and not thank you for all the work you have done with the commission, especially with the health fair. And it wouldn't have been as successful as it was without all the work you did. So we all appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And the health fair was phenomenal.
They worked really hard for that one.
Yeah, I mean, the turnout for it was incredible, great community involvement, and so they did a fantastic job, and thank you, Amy, for all of your work.
Happy to help.
And with, Councilmember Dobie.
I just had one question. When you mentioned going to the community center and these different meetings, does the city charge, remind me, did we charge you to use those spaces, or is that part of your budget?
So the community center has been providing space for the seniors to meet for their connection events, the senior luncheons that happens quarterly. We did pay for use of the PAC. We paid for the items that we purchased from them, as well as staff time and the use of the building.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Amy. And that's information only, so great job. Enjoy the rest of the evening. All right, item E, creating the position of warrant officer in the Federal Way Police Department. And we have Chief Kyle Sumter.
Yes, it is my pleasure to be with you this evening to ask you to convert the position of transport officer, which includes 4 full-time employees, to warrant officers. And this is necessitated by the evolution of law in the state of Washington. You may recall a few years ago, 2019 approximately, we left SCORE as an owner agency, and we hired some transport officers to take our prisoners to a variety of jails. And so we're talking about those 4 employees who have been going under the name, the title of transport officer with limited peace officer commissions. In the intervening years, as the law has changed, limited commission peace officers are only for limited commission law enforcement agencies, such as the Gambling Commission or the Liquor and Cannabis Board, for instance. Those are limited law enforcement agencies with employees that have limited law enforcement commissions. The City of Federal Way has a general authority law enforcement agency, and so there's not a provision in the law for us to have limited commission officers anymore. State of Washington has created a fix for that, and it is the warrant officer position. But that position must be created by city council ordinance. And so that's why I'm here tonight, to ask you to accept the ordinance that we have drafted for you and convert the 4 employees that we currently have in transport to the position of warrant officers. Now, as we've drafted this ordinance, we used the current job description for transport officer and what they are currently doing, and we've blended those 2 together into what you have in front of you as the proposed ordinance. We don't expect there to be any new work that doesn't exist in their existing job description, and we don't anticipate any change in pay. And they are agreeable to this. It's changing a job title. The only expense we anticipate is to change their shoulder patches on their uniform. Currently says transport officer. It will need to change and say warrant officer. We will absorb that cost, which we expect will be a couple $100.
All right, very good. All right. Councilmember McDaniel.
Yeah, real quick, so the current 4 officers we have, are they classified as sworn officers? Do they go through the academy and everything?
No, great question. In fact, when we started this position, 2019, special commission was another option for us. But if they were specially commissioned, it's highly likely they would have had to go to the police academy. So they go to the police academy, they go through all of the training and rigors of full law enforcement officers, and then we assign them to transport prisoners. A lot for less. And so we avoided that special commission by going with limited commission. That's no longer an option for us. The specialty commission still looks like it would require full academy training. So this will be narrower training that is tailored specifically to the authorities articulated in the ordinance, limited.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm used to a warrant officer in the military, so it's that weird enlisted officer kind of situation. And the second thing is, what union do these current employees fall underneath of then?
The PSSA. Now, the jail coordinator is their supervisor. He is not part of the PSSA, but the transport officers are.
Is he classified as a sworn officer then, or is he still?
No, he's also this limited commission area that we're in right now.
Then what is he underneath of?
He reports to the commander of patrol specialties.
Oh, I'm talking more of like, I'm still trying to understand the unions because it's 4.
Oh, he's not in a union. He's
So
non-represented.
So he's non-represented. Is he the only police officer we have that's not represented then?
He's not a police officer. He's in the brown uniform. He's a limited commission. He will be a warrant officer and a jail coordinator.
Okay, so I get, so coordinator's an officer, but it's a transport officer at this time. It's not a police. Okay, I see what you guys.
Yeah.
All right, understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. So the officers that were changing their title, what training do they have if they don't go through the academy?
Well, fortunately, in our case, we've hired some people who have an extensive background in corrections. In fact, one of them I'm thinking of, I don't think she came through corrections, but she came through the police department, through records and some other positions in the police department. They all had job-related experience, and previous training, which didn't require us to do a lot in order to get their limited commissions. They have arrest and control tactics because they do make warrant arrests, and they pick people up at the jail and transport them. They've had driving training. They have pepper spray, OC training. They have tasers. They carry tasers and pistols, so they have all of the training and qualifications associated with the weapons that they carry. They have the things, let me describe a difference in police officers. They don't have training because they're not authorized to investigate crimes. They don't have domestic violence training because they don't respond to domestic violence. They don't deal in probable cause arrests. So the legal updates that our police officers get, they might attend the training, but some of that isn't as pertinent to their job. The training they get is specific to their limited authorities.
Do they carry weapons?
They do.
And they're trained in that, obviously.
They are, yes. They're trained with their pistols and tasers and pepper spray, and they qualify on it regularly as well.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief. I don't see any more questions. So do we have a?
I have one more question.
One
if
more
you don't
question.
mind. These officers then don't count it in the 154, the total amount of officers that we're attaining?
Correct. They do not.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
All right, you
All
want,
right,
you want
thank you.
a
Do we have a motion?
motion? I move to forward the proposed ordinance to the June 17th, 2025 consent agenda for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It carries unanimously.
Thank you.
And thank you very much again. All right, next, Item F, City Hall Southgate replacement, and you do not look like George Richard.
No, George he had a very important event tonight. His daughter is graduating from high school, so I told him, you
He
go to that.
would rather
I'll
go
I'll
to his
come
daughter's high school graduation than be here with us. I'm just deeply
Yeah.
disappointed.
He went home in tears, but I made him.
All right,
Cry now.
all right, so we have John Hutton.
Good evening, Chair and council members, committee members. I have before me an agenda bill. The policy question is, should the city council approve the purchase and installation of the Southgate replacement from Nelson Investments Northwest LLC, doing business as Northwest Fencing LLC, in the amount of $23,180.15. The options for you are to approve the proposed gate and purchase and installation, or do not approve and provide staff with direction. A little bit of brief background on this. You probably remember you approved this about 3 years ago, and unfortunately, the gate failed. The gate was previously made from aluminum. We have realized that that may not be the best choice anymore because they're not holding up. And these gates are heavily used by our police department. We figure 120 to 150 times a day the gates open and close. This gate failed beyond repair, and so we are going out with a new design, bulkier, heavier material, steel rather than aluminum, and a new guiding roller system that will be located on the top of the gate rather than on the bottom, and we feel, we and the gate company all believe that this will last much longer. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, Councilmember McDaniel.
Only question I have is, when was the gate originally damaged?
We don't have an exact date. It looks as if, well, it stopped working, then we got it going a little bit again, and then it appears that the gate was hit. We don't have any proof of that. We scoured the cameras. We could not find any evidence of it, but the damage indicates that the gate was probably hit. We don't know if it was hit from the outside coming in, the inside coming out, it was a citizen, we don't know. And the problem is it just tore it in half like a kind of think of a tin can being ripped open. It was unrepairable, and we do believe that the new design and the new heavier materials will last much longer.
Man,
It's been down a while,
yeah,
Councilman.
I have no problem with that. My only problem is that we don't have a camera on the gates for the police in the back.
We do have a camera on the gates, and we could not find we could not find the incident. We scoured. And scoured and scoured, and we could not find the evidence. We do have cameras on both gates.
Okay, well, that's what, yeah, okay, that's just,
So, I mean, that's why we say it appears to have been hit,
yeah,
but
no
we
proof.
can't prove it, and those cameras were functioning the whole time. There was no missed video, so it may not have been. It may have just tore itself apart, which happens at times with, it's an imperfect world. Sometimes metal objects fail, so
All right, thanks.
you're welcome.
All right, Councilmember Honda.
Thank you. Didn't we recently replace the gate on this side of City Hall? Or a
We
few years
did, yeah.
ago?
That was probably within the last 5 years, I
Oh,
think we
well,
replaced
that's
it.
pretty recent, I guess.
Yeah, that's fairly recent, yeah.
And the gate on this side was not replaced at that time?
Not replaced, but repaired,
Repaired, okay.
yeah.
And now it will be replaced?
And now it will be replaced with the newer, more sturdy materials and
So is
and a
the
new
gate-
roller system.
Is the gate on this side the same system that it'll be on this side? With the rollers on the top?
I honestly don't have that answer, but I'll get that to you. I just need to talk with Jason. I'm not positive if it's the same material. I believe that one is still aluminum, the one on the north end, but it has not experienced nearly the problems that the Southgate has had.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The only thing that astounds me is that I was taking a look at the packet, a 25-page contract to buy a gate. I mean, seems like that the amount of time wasted to do that, I mean, well, we have a crazy system, but anyway.
You're reading
I
my
know
mail.
that's not within your control, but I mean, just
Exactly.
taking a look at the things in general. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I move to forward the proposed gate purchased and installation to the June 17th, 2025 consent agenda for approval.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it carries unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, we are getting to that. Thanks again, John. We are getting to the very end report on the PAC operations. Stacia Winters.
Good evening. Let me see. Sorry, give me one moment. Always takes me a minute to find it. Here we are. Good evening. I'm Stacia Winters. I'm the general manager at the Federal Way Performing Arts and Event Center. Thank you so much, Chair Walsh, Council President Kochmar, and council members for being here this evening. Tonight's report is on our April financials for the PAC and operations. So in April, our total attendance was 3,883. This is versus 3,286 in / so an increase there from April of last year. Paid tickets was 1,519 tickets versus 3,810 paid tickets in 2024. This is one of those examples that we've been talking about that events kind of change. We did not have that many ticketed events in April, which is different from previous years, but we had a lot of private events. So just a different mix of events this month. A few feedback that we got from some of our events. We're so grateful for your help and the support the day of as well. We had a great event in your space with an amazing turnout from one of the people at Anthem Church. We held their Easter Sunday service this year and had really about 800 people show up. The theater was completely full, and then they also had youth things going on in all of our meeting rooms. The Black Jacket Symphony tour manager said, "Thank you for another great night. We love coming to Federal Way and working with your team. We look forward to our next show in October." These guys come back twice a year, and they're amazing tenants to have every time. And a recent Google review also said it's clean, comfortable, spacious, with good acoustics and friendly staff. Usage days in April. This year we had 23 usage days. This is up from 16 in 2024. Some of those events, like I said, was the Black Jacket Symphony. We also had Epic Queen, the Whiskers and Paws Gala. We had Federal Way Symphony, a performance by them. We also had BYU Idaho was here with their symphonic band, which was a fun one, and Cantate Homeschool Choir, which is a regional homeschool choir here that did a Christmas concert as well. So they're coming back a couple times a year now, which is exciting to have them. A couple event highlights. One of our Arts for Youth events this year, it was actually our final Arts for Youth event for the season, was the Pa'akai We Bring. That was a Hawaiian cultural show for 2nd through 6th graders. It was a really fun show. It was all about salt and how they mine it in Hawaii and what it means to the Hawaiian people. A lot of the teachers who signed up specifically signed up because they have large Polynesian student bodies, which was really fun for them to come out and get to experience that and, yell out their chihus and things in the crowd as we did this. It was very fun. We also had an Auburn Valley Humane Society Whiskers and Paws Gala. This is a return client, and they have about 200 to 300 people come out every year for their fundraising gala to raise funds for the Auburn Valley Humane Society. Another highlight was our first community event of the year. It was All the World's a Stage. It was our Earth Day celebration. This was a really fun event. The main kind of focus was with our presenting sponsor, Watson's Greenhouse. They provided all of these pots and potting soil and marigold seeds so we could create a community plant wall. So everybody who came got to decorate their own little pot and plant their own seeds, and they're still at the PAC now. We water them all the time, and they're growing and looking really good, which is super fun to see. We also had face painting and games and a magic show as well, which was really fun. Revenue. I do want to give a quick disclaimer before getting into the financials. We are updating our financial software program at the time. It started at the beginning of May. So our financials are currently a little bit behind. We have not fully put out April financials because it's a big overhaul to put all of our things in and put all of the beginning of the year and our budget in. So we are a little bit delayed. Our revenues should be very close because that's something that I can pull pretty easily, but I don't have full overall financials for you today due to this delay. As for revenue, however, April revenue for April ticket revenue was $53,124, bringing our year-to-date revenue to $226,345 versus 2024, which was $382,610. Rental revenue, which is rent for the spaces, was $58,759, bringing our year-to-date to $177,753. This is up from 2024, which was about $148,000. Facility fees, $10,896 for April, bringing year-to-date to $34,000. This is down again a little bit because, of course, that follows that ticket revenue trend. And then food and beverage revenue, April was $39,590 for a year-to-date of $158,000, which is an increase from $154,000 last year. So our total revenue in April was $162,370, bringing our year-to-date to $596,556 compared to about $740,000, which, like I said, the main difference in that is that ticket revenue. Oh, wrong button. Event operating income, this is not perfect again, however, it is pretty close. We do track our event financials pretty closely, so I was able to pull this. So for April, we had $44,308. As a reminder, the event operating income is our total event revenue minus total event expenses, so this is not any of our overhead, but it's a really good indicator of how events specifically are doing and if we're driving revenue in those areas. Compared to April 2024 year to date, we have increased our event revenue by over $10,000. And then I changed up how we're looking at our goals. Hopefully this kind of helps you get a good idea of where we're at and where I'm expecting us to be at the end of the year. So these are some of our miscellaneous metrics. Attendance. As of right now, we are 34% of our goal accomplished, and the red is what I'm projecting us to do with our booked events. So we're just shy of reaching our goal. However, we're still booking, of course. I do expect us to reach that goal still. Usage days, we are currently at 42% of our goal accomplished, and as you can see with my projected ones, we're already over 100. We've already got over our goal on usage days booked, and we're still booking, so that's exciting. Free community days, we've had one of our 5 so far, so we're 20% of that goal. However, we do have 4 more planned for the year, so we will reach that. Revenue generation, ticket revenue, currently we are 26% of our goal accomplished, and I do expect to, it looks like I'm projecting about 90% of that with the ticketed shows we have booked. We are still booking a few, so I actually do expect that we'll hit that or get very, very close if we miss it, but I think we're going to hit it this year. Event space rental, we are currently at 39% accomplished, and I expect us to exceed that goal with the things that we already have booked. Same with theater revenue, we're at 37% accomplished right now, and I expect us to exceed that goal. Food and beverage revenue, we are currently 32% accomplished as of April, and again, I expect us to exceed that goal by the end of the year. For event types, Arts for Youth, this is the number of Arts for Youth events we hold. So as of right now, we have held 3 Arts for Youth events in 2025, and our goal is 6, so we are 50% of the way to that goal. Nonprofit events, currently we have held 6 as of April 2025. We have 18 more of those contracted, so I am expecting to exceed that goal. Banquets, meetings, and conferences, we've held 21%, 21 of them, which is 42% of our goal, and we have 30 more contracted. I expect us to hit that goal as well. Weddings, we have held 1 event as of April, and we have 1 more contracted for later this summer. That is all that we have contracted right now, so we will likely miss that goal. And some of our upcoming events. We have our bodybuilding event coming up here in just a couple, actually, what is the date? This weekend. It's this weekend on June 14th. This is a repeat client that comes back every year, and they're great to work with. They actually bring us 2 events a year. June 20th, we have Evergreen City Ballet's season finale. We're excited to have them in the building. I'm not sure if they've been there before. They've not been there in my tenure, so we're really excited to have them here. July 12th, we have our next free community event, which is the Summer Chalk Art Festival. It's going to be really exciting. We're doing a community chalk art piece and a lot of really cool things, and have a lot of vendors coming, so that'll be great. July 13th is another local dance company, Cameron Lee Dance Company. They're presenting Kaleidoscope at the PAC. They have 2 shows on July 13th. And then August 15th is the 60s Flashback Show, which is selling really well and is going to be a really good show. They've already got like 400 tickets out, so I'm hoping we can push them past the sellout, which would be awesome. And that is all that I have. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
Boy, it doesn't look like it. Great presentation.
Excellent.
I mean,
Thank you so much.
If there's no questions, the presentation was exceptional because you answered all our questions in the presentation.
Great. So
So-
glad.
All right, the events that I've been to there the last little while have really been great,
Perfect.
and I've been hearing positive comments about it as well.
Well, thank
so.
you so much. I really appreciate it and
All right.
appreciate all of your support.
Okay, thank you,
Have a
Stacia.
great day.
All right, that is the end of the agenda. John Hutton has some comments that he would like to make, our Parks Director.
Thank you, Chair Walsh, and I'd like to take a few moments tonight to recognize Mary Janicki. Mary is wrapping up her last evening meeting as she wraps up her 32-year-plus years of service to the city of Federal Way. Listen to Susan. Listen to Susan, Mary.
My only question is, how can she have 32 years when she's only 39?
It's amazing. Yeah. So, as I said, Mary is completing over 32-year career here with the city of Federal Way, and she actually worked a little bit before that, which makes the whole age thing just not even make sense at all. So I'd like to say that all of those years have been stellar. I've worked with Mary since day one. Mary is much more than just an outstanding employee. She's a stellar person, wife, mom, and loyal friend. She's a fountain of knowledge for everybody in the city, not just here at the Parks Department. And she's filled many, many roles over the years. She's worked for 2 different departments. She's staffed many commissions and committees over those times. Mary is loved and respected by everyone, and her shoes will be incredibly hard to fill. On a personal note, Mary and I have worked together for her entire 32-plus years here, and every day has been pretty great, except on those rare occasions where I mess up, and that's not any fun for me. But while she'll be missed, we're all very happy for her and her husband Roger and daughters Monica and Casey as she enters her next chapter. So I'd like to congratulate Mary on a phenomenal career. So thank you, Mary.
All right, and Mary, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So-
It's been a great, the hardest part is leaving the people, but thank you.
Right. Lots of joy and success with your future
Thank you.
endeavors,
Yeah.
whatever they
Yeah,
are.
I've seen a lot of changes. I started off at the Klahani Lake Community Senior Center, which is no longer our building. But anyway, I appreciate your words, John, and everyone, so thank you.
She also was one of the very first people to serve the Korean lunches to our Korean lunch program that's been going on for 30 years, and that was at Panther Lake Elementary.
Yeah,
That's how long.
when I started, the building we couldn't get in the building yet, so our lunch operations were at Panther Lake Elementary. So we went there every day, did all the senior programs there. And then when school started, we went to the Elks Building, which is right next door. And the people that worked above us didn't really like us too much. We had live bands and music and took up their parking and things like that. But we made it work, so we were kind of all over until we were able to move into Kalani. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
All right. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So,
When is your last day?
My last day is June 25th. So one more Monday, 2 more Tuesdays, 2 more Wednesdays, and 1 more Thursday.
not that you're counting. All right. Fantastic. All right, that concludes our meeting. Our next meeting will be July 8th, 2025 at 5 p.m. right here. And with that, do anybody have any comments before we adjourn? Nope, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.